So, as I'm listening to you, I'm starting to get this impression in my head that a business broker like yourself is almost like a buyer's agent, if you will, or a seller's agent in the real estate market. So you're representing this business as a seller's agent. When people come to buy the business, do they come in with a different business broker, almost like a different realtor that will then begin negotiations? Or is it very common for you to both represent the seller and the buyer of the business?
That's a great question. The challenge in the smaller market, there's challenges in the way the market's designed. So it's very similar to a real estate model and vastly different. We can go off on a tangent here. On larger deals in the true M&A world, you're selling a $50 million company. Each side hires their own advisors, a buy side and a sell side advisory firm. When you get down into selling a small business, let's just say below $10 million in total value, typically there's a sell side agency that's helping create the buying pool, helping do the negotiations, and then the buyer is usually working without a representative, and it's only because it's hard to design buy side work. We do some buy side work, but doing buy side work, not every sell side will split like real estate agents do. And without getting vastly into the weeds of that, buy side people are usually working with um, their banker, their attorney, and things like that. And so when we're working with that buyer, we help them through, but we represent our seller and represent the deal. And then we give guidance where we can to them without going against representing. But most of our business is on the sell side, helping the seller get prepared, helping them negotiate. And then our job is, consultant, salesperson, coach, cheerleader, psychologist, and all that, because the emotional roller coaster that people go through, um, it is a huge challenge. And the other thing is that my job is to help you get the deal done.
Hmm.
Most people think, oh, well, I'm getting called because right now there's a ton of noise, phone calls, emails. I want to buy your business, um, and and then I've had one right now that has done that twice now and spent and wasted 6 months' time on each one, and it didn't go anywhere. My job is to help you create the buying pool and get that vetting process so that you're talking to the very few that are the right fit, so you can focus on running and growing your business, because nothing's worse. I have one right now that went through this process at the final stages before closing. They call it retrading. That they got renegotiated because the person, again, doing it on their own. I have no problem with that, but the process takes a lot of time and effort, and so it got them distracted from their business. And so 6 months later, when they're looking at the financials plateaued or actually saw a downturn. And so the person buying it has to assume, okay, wait a minute, this isn't that company that's been growing to the and going off to the moon. It's flatlining or starting to go down. And so again, that's a risk factor. And so that the business ended up being sold for a lot less than they could have been had they just
Mm.
focused on running the business. And so that and this was a larger deal. So trailing 12 months, what's happened in the last 12 months truly does matter and will spook the buyers. And their only tool is then to change the structure and or price or both.